This was a zoning request a couple of years ago for the same property, same applicant. But that request was to rezone to multifamily residential. That request was denied by City Council about 2 years ago. The applicant has waited the full year and then another year to reapply, and this changed his request to R-6 instead of R-10. So the subject property is on the east side of Williams Street. It's at 1613 Williams. It's about 200 feet south of the intersection of Williams and East Moore. It is in the local historic district of Valdosta, in an area that we call Brookwood North. Property contains an existing single-family residence that's been there a very long time. It sits toward the back of the property. The applicant is proposing to demolish that residence and build a duplex on the property, which requires R6 zoning. Character areas, established residential, which is indicative of the whole surrounding neighborhood. Aerial imagery, you see some of the surrounding land uses with the pattern. Multifamily exists on the property to the north and the west. The apartments to the north are tree loft. Those are owned by the applicant as the next door neighbor. To the south is an existing duplex, and then single-family residence to the east, which faces Iola. In your packet are several items, including a survey and existing site plan. Here you can see how deep back into the property the single-family residence is. Subject property is seen from Williams with a little bit of zoom on the lens. This is the view across the front yard. Fairly nondescript, but 90-year-old house that's back there. Adjacent properties, this is the duplex to the south. The view looking south down Williams Street, across the street to some of the single-family residences. This is, I think, called the Carolyn Apartments on the property to the west. Northward view up Williams toward the intersection with Moore. And then another side, the rear side of the existing apartments to the north, which are tree loft. And a better view of tree loft from Moore Street is here. In your packet also is a site plan showing where the duplex would be. That's in the front of the property, with a shared driveway coming in off of Williams and a small parking area in the back. It is designed to look like a single-family residence with one front door facing Williams, but with two rear doors. And then also the floor plan in a little greater detail also in your packet. Elevation drawings, front and north elevation, pitched roof, clapboard siding, very traditional style architecture. Also the rear and southern elevations, and then a 3D rendering. The applicant has already taken the demolition request and the new construction request to the Historic Preservation Commission. They reviewed it on April the 1st, and they approved both of those unanimously. So all that remains is the zoning change to get the use approved, which would be heard by City Council next week. So with that, and just like with the previous request, staff has found that rezoning consistent with the comprehensive plan. These stands for exercise of zoning power, which are there in your packet, and we are recommending approval.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Matt on this one, Commissioners? All right. Then that will open the public hearing portion on this matter. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to speak in favor of this case? If so, please come forward. And please state your name and address for the record.
Hello, I'm Jamie Dewar. I live at 1761 Pinehurst Plaza in Palm Springs, California, 92264. As Matt explained, I did try to do a rezoning 2 years ago. I was going to build a fourplex and possibly keep the house in the rear. That didn't pass due to some neighborhood opposition. So the plan now is to build a duplex. The house in the back was in very poor condition when I purchased it several years ago, and was just been used as a rental property for a very long time. Once the family moved out, it just kind of sat vacant, and then we had the Hurricane Idalia, and the house did flood and was pretty severely damaged. We had the circuit code come in and strip out all the drywall on the first floor. So at this point, I think the house is just worn out, and with the flooding issue, I'm just concerned about trying to renovate that structure. It also doesn't have any insulation in the walls, and was no heating system for the house. The residents were just using building space heaters. So now that we've got that approved to take down, I'd like to replace it with a new building, start fresh, something new for the neighborhood. This will probably be the first new construction building in this section of William Street for over 50 years, I think. The design sort of came from the original fourplex building that I had, which had 4 units, 2 on the first floor, 2 on the second. So I just took the two second floor units out, and now we have a duplex. So it's a 1-story structure. It would be historic in nature. It would be built about at least 2 feet off the ground so that it would never flood again, and possibly even on a crawl space. It does have a front porch. As Matt said, it's kind of designed to look like a single-family home. Could be converted into a single-family home if somebody wanted to in the future. And sort of the idea is that there's a larger residence to the north side, and maybe a future owner could live in the larger residence and then either rent out the smaller residence next door, or use it for a family member, or a mother-in-law suite, something like that. I have updated the floor plan a little bit. We're going to have two bathrooms now in the larger unit, so it will be slightly larger than that. Features, classical columns on the front porch, kind of give it some character there, some historic character. I'm thinking of maybe a red colored shingle on the roof, and then probably a sort of a white or cream colored exterior. We'll have a glass front door, and I do intend to do double pane windows on the front of the house just for noise, since it's facing the street. And then we may try to repurpose some of the original windows from the house in the back for the other windows on the other facades. It does have as I said, the larger unit faces William Street. It has the front porch. It also has a back entrance that's convenient to the parking, which is kind of tucked back behind the house in the rear. And then the smaller residence, which is a 1-bedroom, you would enter that from the rear, close to the parking. And there's an open-air deck, so you would actually walk up onto a small open-air deck and then go into that house. So I think that's about it. The driveway is in very poor shape now as well. A lot of that's going to have to be completely taken up and replaced with a new driveway. So all these factors together, I think, getting at least 2 units on this site, the economics of tearing down the existing structure, building a new one, and completely redoing the driveway, probably the curb cut as well, just makes a lot more sense to do a duplex instead of a single-family home. So I think that's all I have. If you have any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from Mr. Dewar on this matter?
Yes, sir, just a couple.
Okay.
So, Mr. Dewar, it looks really good. I like it a couple years ago, by the way. Are you planning on doing it on the original home site that's there now? Are you going to demo that and put a new structure there?
No, the original home is at the very back of the
Yes.
property.
I didn't see a site plan. You don't have one.
Mr. Dewar mentioned you're going to build a new structure towards the front of the property,
To
right?
the front, right.
It doesn't show it in
Yeah,
there.
we don't.
But it would sit right up front on William Street.
Correct, yeah. Yes.
At the minimum setback line, I'm just curious. I didn't see a site plan. So.
Well, it would be
It's on the screen.
30 feet back from the property line, which would put it about 40 feet back from William Street.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just looked for a site plan, I didn't see it. So, I was fixing this, last time I checked it, extremely wooded. I know if you're gonna put it in the back, I was curious if you're gonna thin it out some so it would be visible to the road, but, I mean, that don't matter anymore. And you mentioned once or twice, about, is it your intention to own and rent this, or to sell this? I'm just curious.
That's a good question. So, since I own the apartments next door, I'm gonna probably keep it for a while and just do it as a rental property. then, at some point, if I ever sold Tree Law, then I would sell this house separately. Because I think it would be much more marketable as a new building than trying to, sell the older house. In fact, I did try to sell the older house, and I didn't have very many offers. Not really good.
Thank you, sir.
That's all that, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Dewar? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
We have a few more minutes. Is there anyone else here this evening that would like to speak in favor of this case? Is there anyone here this evening that would like to speak against this case? Anyone who would like to speak against this case, please come forward. Seeing no one, that will close the public hearing portion on this matter. Commissioners, any final comments? Then I will request a motion, please.
I'll make a motion. Regarding case VA-2024-07, applicants requesting that we rezone from R-10 to R-6, and I make a motion that we recommend.
We have a recommendation of approval by Commissioner Miller and a second, I believe, by Commissioner Wise. All those in favor of the motion to recommend approval?